Rain pounded on the cracked asphalt of the old town street, blurring the glow of flickering streetlights. In the middle of that storm, Clara Morgany, emergency nurse widow, and single mother was sprinting down the hospital's back alley with an umbrella that had already surrendered to the wind. Her shift had run long again, and she still had to pick up her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, from her neighbor's apartment. She didn't notice the low growl of the engine until it was too late. From the shadows, a black motorcycle roared forward, tires spitting water. Clara turned just in time to see a leather-clad figure speeding straight toward her. The impact wasn't heading more of a brutal shoulder check, but it was enough to send her sprawling onto the cold, slick pavement. Her ribs screamed with pain as her cheek pressed against the road. The biker skidded to a halt a few yards ahead, his face hidden behind a tinted visor. He didn't offer a hand, didn't speak, only revved the engine, and rolled closer, his front wheel nudging her bag. Clara felt the thud of her own heartbeat in her ears. Fear mixed with something else. It's a deep, burning anger. She scrambled backward toward a stack of discarded furniture by the dumpster. Her hand brushed against something solid, a chair leg, splintered at one end. She gripped it tightly, rising slowly to her feet. Her breaths came fast, each one sharper than the last. "You've picked the wrong nurse tonight," she said, her voice low but steady. The biker tilted his head as if amused. Then, without warning, he lunged forward again. Clara sidestepped, swung the chair leg with every ounce of strength she had, and struck the side of his bike. The clang echoed through the alley. The biker lost control, skidding sideways until he crashed against the dumpster. But this wasn't the end. The man staggered to his feet, now without the helmet. His face was gaunt, eyes wild, a mixture of rage and desperation. In that moment, Clara realized he wasn't just some random thug. He was desperate for something. Maybe money, maybe revenge. His jacket bore the insignia of the local biker gang, the Iron Serpents, a group notorious in town for intimidation and petty crime. "Give me your bag," he snarled. "No," Clara replied. The chair leg trembled slightly in her grip. But not from fear, her adrenaline was surging. She had spent years tending to gunshot wounds, holding the hands of dying patients, and facing grief that would have broken most people. A biker with bad intentions was not going to break her now. He rushed at her again. She ducked, jammed the splintered end into his stomach, and shoved. The man stumbled back, gasping, then bolted into the darkness without another word. The sound of his retreating footsteps was swallowed by the rain. Clara stood there, chest heaving, the broken chair leg still in her hand. The next day, word spread quickly through the hospital. Orderlies, doctors, even security guards whispered about the nurse who fought off a biker with nothing but a broken chair leg. Clara tried to brush it off. There were more important things to focus on, like her patients and her daughter, but she couldn't deny the strange sense of empowerment blooming inside her. But the challenges weren't over. A week later, it noticed 2 of the Iron Serpents waiting near the hospital parking lot. They didn't speak to her, just watched. That night, someone slashed her car tires. She realized this wasn't just about one confrontation. She had become a target. Instead of shrinking back, Clara went to the police. She gave a detailed report, naming the man she had seen without his helmet. At first, the officer seemed skeptical. Gang intimidation cases rarely went anywhere, but Clara was relentless. She followed up every day, provided surveillance footage from nearby businesses, and even convinced a patient's relative who'd seen the biker to testify. It was exhausting. Between long hospital shifts, caring for Lily, and the constant worry that someone might be waiting for her in the dark, Clara felt like she was running on fumes. But each time she thought about backing down, she remembered the moment she stood in that alley, rain dripping into her eyes, weapon in hand, refusing to give in. Finally, after weeks of pressure, the police made an arrest. The man was charged, not only for attacking Clara, but also for a string of assaults and robberies. The Iron Serpents began to lose their grip on the neighborhood. Months later, Clara was walking home with Lily, the air warm and golden with the setting sun. Lily asked Mom, "Were you scared that night with the biker?" Clara smiled faintly. "Yes," she said. "But being scared doesn't mean you stop. It means you keep going until you're safe." Her words hung in the air, heavier than they sounded because Clara knew life would always throw storms, bikers or worse. But strength wasn't about never falling. It was about rising again, even if all you had was a broken chair leg. And from that day on, Clara walked a little taller. Not because she had fought a biker and win, but because she had fought fear itself and refused to let it win.